Welcome back in Solitude with myself, DJ Hero. In today's tutorial, I'm going to go over some good techniques to help get you started in your own projects. Either you're a beginner and are overwhelmed by all the details that you think you've got to keep in mind, or you're a veteran pro and just looking for a little inspiration from time to time. So let's dig right in, shall we? As you can see here, I've got a blank slate in front of me. Not a whole lot going on. There's one audio track, and the reason that one audio track there is I'm going to take another tune, and you might be using somebody else's track, maybe one of your favorite artists, maybe it's a song that you heard that you just fell in love with the energy of, and you'd like to make something along the same lines, the similar type of energy, or you just happen to like the structure. Maybe something unique was about it. Who knows? I'm going to be using one of my own tracks for copyright sakes, but this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drag the tune that I have in question onto my timeline and either fit the tempo of the track, of the project, to the tempo of the track, or fit the tempo of the track to the project. I've chosen 128, just so happens this particular song is also 128 BPM, so no big deal there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the most basic elements, the kick drum, the snare, and your basic hi-hat, and I'm going to recreate the entire song just to give me a guideline from where I can go from there. Sometimes creating the picture and creating the outline frees up just a lot of mental energy to really focus on the creative aspects, the melodies, the bass line, all the fun stuff, right? So from here, I'm going to start with just the kick, and I'm going to recreate the entire song, just the kick drum. So I'm going to add a MIDI track, and the reason I'm going to add a MIDI track and not an audio track is because as I get into the production process of the song itself, I may want to swap out that kick drum. And if you've got a whole song laid out as audio files with respect to the kick, it's going to be super annoying going back in and recreating or relaying out all of those sounds. So I'm going to call this perk-kick. And I'm going to start right here at the beginning, just a bar. Create that. We'll name it. That way I can keep track of everything and find myself a good sample. I'm going to save the time and just drop in a sample that I've already got in mind here. But first, I'm going to add the actual sampler, not the simpler, but the sampler to the MIDI track. Drop my kick sound in there. This is what it sounds like. It's a sound that I pulled off of Splice. If you're not familiar with Splice, great website to get samples, be them drums, melody, ideas, all sorts of stuff, presets, collaborate with friends or other producers. I know that the kick that I got is in the key of F, so I'm going to change the root here to F, and now I can draw in that basic pattern. I'm going to do a quick Control U to make sure they're all lined up there. And let's go, just take a look here. So yeah, just a basic fixed beat 4/4 pattern. What I did is I created one measure, one bar, and I like to work in 8-bar loops. You'll find that if you just sit and listen to the music that you play or the music that you like, most of the turns in the club world anyway, radio, different story, but in the club world, most of the changes and the turns happen after the 8th bar. So what I'll do is I'll create a pattern that's 8 bars long, and that helps me stay focused and be able to see when I'm zoomed out each section, right? So if I kind of go through and go, okay, I know that part's there. Okay, what's this part here? All right, more of the intro. Okay, safe to say. What about this part here? Well, this is the little pre-drop, if you will. So there are no kick drums in there except for one little hit at the very beginning. So I'll create a little pattern there, and we'll drop that just like that. And I'll call that kind of pattern 0 because it's just one hit. All right. And then I believe we're going into the drop here. Right? So we'll bring that over here. What goes on over here? Same thing. And if I zoom in, I can see them. What about this section here? Another little miniature breakdown. So I'll take my one little hit, put it there. And then what happens over here? Oh, it's a different drum pattern altogether. Okay, so we'll create a new MIDI clip and just zoom in and take a look. So kick, looks like kick, 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 kick. All right, let's recreate that. Pull up our piano roll. Zoom on, there we go. Okay, kick, kick. Yep. The next one here. Yeah, and I believe it's on the 4th beat. Yep. All right, so zoom back out. And I'll check the next section. Is it the same? Yeah, okay, cool. Now what about this one right here? Same? All right. Now what about this one? Is it the same? No, it's not. So I'll just bring this over and take a look and make the adjustments. All right, so there's another note there. No, there's no beats here. Okay. I'll take them out. Actually, let's leave them there for now because the baseline ideas I might come up with as I get deeper into the production of the tune may not require the same type of change there. So just leave them in. I'm just going to leave them in there. And then I'm going to copy that pattern over because I assume it does the same thing. And it's got that one I think I will add the little drum roll too. Let's bring me over here. Boom. All right. See what I did there? I added those notes. And maybe I'll remove those later, but for now I'm just going to leave them. I'm going to back out. We'll group them, and we'll call this kick 2 because it's second pattern, right? And then we'll go to this chunk here. I have a feeling it's the same. So for now, I'll just copy that over and then we'll take a look. Zoom in. Yep. Excellent. So I got that section there. And then we'll bring this one over here because I think we're going into a breakdown. Yep, just the one kick. That might change if I choose to go with that impact, that explosion sound. I might do a little something different, but for now, cool. Move over here. One kick at the top of that one. All right, what about this one? Same thing. And then we're in the build. And then if I'm not mistaken, this second drop goes back to that fixed straight beat. Yep. Same thing. Yep. What about here? Yep. Here. Yep. And then here. Yep. Looks like it's high pass there, obviously, but same pattern. And I'll put one on the end just because. So there. Looking at what we've got here, we have the entire song front to back laid out with respect to the kick drum. And now I can start filling in from there, right? I know that this is the space that we have to work with. We have our intro, We have a mini break that kind of gives us a little buildup that goes into our first drop. We have our first drop section. Then we have a second little mini break right here. And then we go into a second drop area that's different. It's a change. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take pieces from the bass line over here and I'll put them here and then swap it out so we've got a different sound returning, right? So the call and return aspects, right? Maybe the call is the same from this first section, but the return is different, okay? And then this breakdown, something contrasting. In the tune that we're using as a reference, it's a melody of sorts, a little bit of a techno, sounds like throwback sound, right? So something to offset. And then we have our second build-up right here. Right. And then our second drop. And then from there we start filtering out until we ultimately get to the outro and end of the track. The next step, I might paint in, the next sound that I'll paint in will be the clap. And I'm just going to stick with a basic 808 clap for now. Again, I've added a MIDI track, not an audio track, because as I get later into the production process, I might want to swap that sample out, and it would get super annoying if I had to go back in and paint in each and every one of those instances of the clap. So I'm going to drop my 808 clap on there. First things first, I'll create my little measure loop, and I'll put my clap note in on the 2 and on the 4. Basic clap, right? Yep, there we go. Nothing special going on with this guy, huh? We'll just draw that out for my entire measure there. My count, as I like to call it, because a measure is technically 4 beats. If you're working in a 4/4 time signature. Boom. All right. So again, going back to our reference. What about here? Is this the same? No. Here, it's on every beat, not just the 2 and the 4. So what I'll do is take this guy, add in 2 more. Obviously, there's nothing here, so I'll just move that back. We'll call that clap 2 because it's a different pattern. And I'm sure that goes like that. Does this breakdown have the same clap 2 pattern? No, it's got this. Okay, cool. So we go to this section. Ooh, now this one's different. I'm going to create a new clip. Sounds like this one's only on the 4. Yep. So we'll draw a clap in there. I'm pretty much sure it's the same all the way. So this will be clap pattern 3. What about this section here? Is it the same? No, this goes back to pattern 1. Perfect. Now what about here? Nope. Pattern 1. And if I know me, this is pattern 2, our build-up pattern that we used in the beginning. Yep. And then looks like the rest of the song is our house beat, right? Perfect. So we just have this basic pattern, right? And at this point in time, I'm not worried too much about processing those sounds. More, I just want to get that pattern down so that I know what I'm, the space that I'm working within, the guidelines that I have here. Think of it like a coloring book. This is basically me drawing the picture, and based on another picture, right? And then I'll go in, and instead of building off of each and every one of these sounds, because I don't want it to sound exactly the same, I'll use my own colors, right? I'll paint the picture the way I want this picture to go. I don't like to get too involved. I'm not trying to replicate every piece, right? Like the hi-hats, the toms, the little filler snare rolls, any sort of other percussion. Those, I want to save those for after I've kind of got the other sounds working, because if I'm writing, say, a bass house tune, and I've got a really great bass line idea, any percussive sounds that I want to add, I want them to play off of that bass line idea. So rather than painting them in generically, I'll save that for later in the creative process. For right now, though, it really does boil down to I just want to paint a picture for where I'm starting. And this is it, right? I have a basic track laid out. I know that in this section here, that's my first drop. That's where my concept for my bass line I'll create in that section. And I know that once I get to the next section here, I'm doing something different. Similarly, I know that this is the space that I have to work in. I'll probably use elements from the first section in the second section and introduce some new elements. And then maybe the contrasting melody here with the build-up, and then into the third drop. And maybe in the third drop, I'm incorporating more elements of each of the first two sections and creating a third unique section. And then rinse them out. Take a little piece out here, more pieces out here. But the bottom line is I now have a template and I can start creating the picture from there. Maybe the next step is I go to the drop, the first drop, and go, okay, well, what do I want to do? Maybe I want to work with something that's tom driven, that has some bounce to it. So I'll, create, color that. I'll call this perk tom. Oops, remove that guy. All right, and maybe I just want to something that creates some funky step to it, right? So because it's a MIDI track, I'm going to go ahead and add an instance of Massive, and I'm going to pull up a preset that I have here. Where's it at? I know you can't see it because it's on my other screen, but I will make the patch, the preset here, available in the link below so that you, or the description below, so that you can download it. But it's just a basic tom sort of. It's not really totally tom-like, but it's more like a kick drum that has a bit more air to it. But maybe I want to go, okay, what do I want here? I'm in a key of F, okay. Maybe we'll do like this. Let's put it on the beat, or on the line there, right? Okay. Maybe we'll add another one there. And this is what we get as far as the beat goes. I've got a little funk going, and then I'll build off of that funk, right? I'll go, okay, so this drop, this section is where I want this to be. And then maybe I'll have that there as well, and we'll save it for those sections. And I'll start playing off of that. I'll start building off of that. And again, at this point in time, I'm not overly concerned about processing all the sounds. It's more of just creating a rhythm and creating a concept and an idea that I can then build upon. From here, I'll probably load up maybe an instance of Serum and start building, the beginning part. Maybe a growl here, maybe some metallic sounding pieces to play off of the notes on the tom here, whatever the case may be. Really, the notion for this tutorial is to give us a foundation of where we can start, kind of give us some built-in confines so that we don't get overwhelmed with this abstract concept, if you will. We're creating some foundations to stay within. And then as we go along, we'll build all of the additional pieces on here. Hopefully you've learned something. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on social media or check out any of my work, you can search Originaldjhero, all one word, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find me everywhere. Until next time, good luck in your own projects, and we'll see you soon.